Yo, what's up guys? So I'm currently looking at US30 and the market is about to open in 7 minutes. So I'm currently waiting and seeing what will happen once the market opens. So currently looking at US30, we do see that we have been in this range here. So we've basically been consolidating all up in this range here. And now looking at the 4-hour time frame and at the market structure, we can see that we've been in a bearish market structure, meaning that we have a low, we have a lower high, we have an equal low, we have another new lower high, and then another low, lower high, and a new lower low. And now with the last high here, as you can see, this was our last lower high here. And now with this candle, we did break above this lower high, creating a new higher high here. And then price came down and created a new higher low because this high is higher than this low here. So that's a new higher low. And then ultimately after that, we did get a new higher high here as well because the wicks went higher than the last wicks here. So all of that is indicating that we were bearish, but we did shift the market structure around this area here. So that's why we could look to take buys or be anticipating buys. So now coming down into the lower time frame, basically the best setups that we could wait for is the first one being a bounce play. So once price reaches this support area here, every time it reached this support, it came all the way back up into this resistance. Here the same thing, we hit support, it came all the way back up into here. So what I will be expecting now once the market opens is more of a steeper pullback back down here, then hopefully a rejection candle, or maybe a bullish engulfing on the 5-minute or 3-minute time frame to then take buys all the way back up into this previous resistance area here. Now if we should not get that and price should just break under this 1-hour support and close under as well, then we could be waiting for a minor pullback to then take sells all the way back down into this daily support zone here. Now that will be some medium probability sells. The high probability buys will be based on this bounce play here. And if we shouldn't get either of those, then I will be waiting for a break of the high setup on the 1-hour resistance here. So once price breaks and closes above this resistance here, we could be waiting for a pullback to then take buys all the way up into this next resistance area here. So those are pretty much the scenarios I would be looking for. Ultimately, the one that I would really like to see is a bounce play based on this support area here, some form of a rejection candle to the downside, and then a buy signal to take buys up to here. That would be ideal, but we'll have to wait and see. Market opens in 4 minutes, so I will be back once the market opens. So now we can see market just open. We see this huge bullish push pushing away from our initial entry area, which was this area here, but still nothing has been decided. So maybe we'll get another steeper pullback to the downside. Now if we should not get the pullback back into support, then ultimately what I'll be waiting for is a break of the high setup. Setup 1 is here, setup 2 is up here, and now it's just basically a waiting game, especially waiting for the first 5-minute candle to close. Alright, so in 30 seconds, the first 5-minute candle will be closing, and what we can see right now is the price has reached this resistance area and has rejected it as a resistance. But at the same time, we're still trading above our support. So as long as price can maintain above this support, we could look to continue looking for buys. We still don't know if we're going to get this pullback set up here or if we're going to get the break of the high set up here. So ultimately now it's just going to be a waiting game and see what price will like to do. Okay, so price is currently approaching my area of interest. So now it's just going to be a waiting game and see how the next 5-minute candle will like to close. Now, if this next 5-minute candle comes all the way back down here and leaves a wick to the downside but closes back above, then that would be the ideal entry signal for me to then take the buys. Okay, so the 5-minute candle just closed and it did not close in the strongest rejection candle here. Like I said, I still want to see a little of a lower low, a steeper wick to then take the buys. So ultimately, I will be waiting in this range here and see what price will like to do. For now, we are in a perfect spot for buys. I could be taking aggressive buys right now, but I'm still waiting for my confirmation. That's also very important or key as a trader. Just because price is in your range, you still don't have to take the position because you could easily still get stopped out before the trade then decides to go in your direction. And you don't want to get stopped out on a position, although you were in the right way or in the right direction, just because you weren't patient enough. You want to wait for price to give you the signal of, yes, I'm going up now or I'm going bullish now, and then you can take the ride up at the right time, right? So okay, so now we're getting the push, the steeper push that I was anticipating, that I was looking for. Keep in mind, I'm still not in the position, so this is just a trade idea. And as long as we maintain above this support here, we are still good to go to the upside. So now it is all about the candle closures, especially on the 5-minute time frame, which is going to be closing in roughly 2 minutes. So now we're literally in a range where it's like either we're going to reject this here and we're going to sell, or we're going to close above and we're going to buy. So this next 5-minute candle is very crucial, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. But I do still see a lot of potential in buys for sure, because we're currently just bouncing off the 1-hour support here. So this is already like a form of a bounce play, but in order to be safer, we do need to close back above the blue line here. Okay, so in roughly 30 seconds, the next 5-minute candle will be closing. At the same time, we have the 15-minute, 30-minute, and the 1-hour candle closure in 20 seconds. So it's going to be very decisive and crucial. If price closes above this blue line, I will be entering buys. If it does not, then I will continue to stay patient and see what price will like to do. So looking at it right now, we have 8 seconds, so it's looking bullish right now. And if we close above, I'm entering on a medium risk position. And there we go, I'm in buys right now. Okay, so we entered here on our buy position. I'll be placing my stops below this wick here, which ultimately is a rejection wick. For safer stop loss, it has to be down here, but in this scenario it's kind of big, so I'll be placing it around, yeah, let's say roughly 40 points right here. There you go. That's a 3-to-1 risk ratio, which is more than great. And now I'll be putting in my TP, so at a 1-to-1, that will be my TP1 here. And there we go, guys. So now it's just a waiting game. But I do like how this 5-minute candle closed back above our support, because it looks like it did respect this 1-hour support here, as we can see here. Price did close under, but the next bullish candle closed back above, so that's a good sign for buys. Also, I like how the 30-minute candle closed basically above our blue line, so above our support that we have here as well, all through this range here. So that's also a great sign for buys. We did close in the form of rejection candle, so that's also great. 1-hour candle, same thing. So here we did close above our support, so that's also a great sign. So now it's just a waiting game basically. So far price is doing great. We are currently almost approaching TP1, which is awesome. But now looking at the 50-minute time frame, we did have this beautiful 15-minute rejection candle. So ideal if this next 15-minute candle that closes in 6 minutes, if it can close bullish engulfing above the previous bearish candle, that would be amazing. That's gonna be that, then price is just gonna fly, guys. So I want to see this candle close bullish engulfing. That would be perfect. And yeah, we're actually approaching TP1 right now. As you guys can see, I'm currently floating around $500. So currently floating 575. So on my TP1, if I'm in a full position, I would close partial profits here. But since I'm in a half risk position here, I will not be closing partials. The only thing that I will be doing is I will be waiting for a candle to close above my TP1 to then move my stop loss to break even and have a risk-free trade. That will be the first scenario to move my stops to break even. My second scenario to move my stops to break even would be for some type of market structure to be formed. So I want to see a higher high, then I want to see a higher low be created, and then a new higher high be created, so I can move my stops either to break even or right under this last higher low created, and then we'll just let the trade ride. Oh, I love how this 3-minute candle closed. Very strong bullish candle engulfing previous candles, and we're approaching TP1. Oh, it's so close. It's so close. Oh my god, that did not just happen. What? Literally like half a pip away. Oh, whole what? When did that happen? What the? Okay, guys, so I had a malfunction here, but we did break TP1, which is amazing. Let me check how much I'm floating right now. I'm currently floating around $600, 700, along those lines. So 15-minute candle is closing in 2 minutes. If it closes bullish engulfing, I will be looking to re-enter another position for buys, because that will be a strong buy signal for me. So now I need a 5-minute candle closure above my TP1 to then be moving my stops to break even right here. As long as I don't get that candle closure above, I will not be doing anything with my position. I will just be holding it, because what could happen now is we could get a form of rejection, then a form of a pullback back into support, maybe even another steeper rejection candle to the downside, and then in a continuation to the bullish side. So that's why as long as I don't get the closure above, I'll be having my open position, so we could still get stopped out. So there's no reason to celebrate yet. But as of right now, it's looking great, and in 40 seconds we'll be closing. If it closed bullish engulfing, I will be entering another position with another half a risk, giving me ultimately 1% risk on this whole position. Okay, so 10 seconds left to enter. 5 minutes not looking great, but the higher time frames are also very crucial, and I'm entering on another position here based on this bullish engulfing candle on the 15-minute time frame. Okay, so a few minutes have passed, and the first 5-minute candle just closed above my first TP1. So here I will officially be moving my stops to break even on my first position, and I still have half a risk open on my other position. Overall, it's looking great. We barely have any bearish candles. It's literally just green candles, and we're already approaching TP2. So I'm very optimistic in holding a position as well. We are currently approaching TP2. It's about to get hit. I will most likely be closing partial profits here because we do have a major resistance here. And here we hit TP2. Let's go. So now I will be closing my second position. I am closing right here. One position. I closed at $580, and I'm still currently in my bigger position, my first position where I entered here. I'm still holding this trade because it is overall risk free, so my stop loss is at break even. And once we get nice market structure, I will be moving or trailing my stops into profit as well. So yo, we're approaching TP3. Let's fucking go, man. I'll also be trailing my stops into profit, obviously. So I will be trailing my stops actually below this wick here, like below this 5-minute candle here. And now I'm hoping really for the next 5-minute candle to have a bigger bullish push, just take us out at TP3, and then we'll just call it a day. My only worry is this rejection candle here, and that will actually add a resistance area right now. So yeah, we'll have to observe what price will like to do in this range here, and depending on how it closes, we'll be closing manually or just waiting for TP3 to get smacked. Because as you can see on the 3-minute time frame, we rarely had any bearish candle, right? So if this next 3-minute candle should close bearish, that's when I'm going to be closing manually, because that's when we could anticipate a steeper pullback to the downside or a rejection of this major resistance here. Okay, so the 3-minute candle just closed bearish engulfing. I'm closing my full position here and calling it a day. Let's go. 1.8k for the day, which is not bad. As you can see, here we go. Amazing day, amazing trade as always. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and make sure to join my free Telegram if you haven't yet, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.